original fucking Color Insane, man.
Look at that. Nobody's dead.
Fucking amazing. Hey, good job, boys.
I mean, it wasn't like we weren't trying. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 24.
24, and what an episode we've got.
Yeah.
On the 25th anniversary of their debut release, we have a reunited Color Insane.
The Color Insane.
The Color Insane. Fucking dope.
Yeah, definitely. At the end of this, stick around to the end of this, to the end of the podcast. I'm gonna put up a actual footage of a song from the night that we released the album. So check it out. I wanted to ask you about something. What do you think about this whole shabacle with Dave Ellefson?
I don't know the full backstory, so I haven't been tracking it.
I've read.
So I don't know what his beef is. I don't know if anybody's beefing with him. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what happened, right? With the whole.
No, I really don't.
Oh, well, let me tell you what happened. Apparently he was, I don't know, Skyping or something with some girl. I don't know how long ago this happened or what, but they were doing nasty shit on Skype together. And he says he didn't know it was recorded. I don't know, but it was recorded, and she ended up giving it to somebody and it gets leaked online, right? Well, she's even come out and said, look, I was not underage. I initiated it all. This was not a grooming situation. This is none of that. It was completely consensual. This is, it got into the wrong hands. It got released, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what that is? Ellefson came out. If anybody doesn't know who Dave Ellefson is, he's the bass player was the bass player for Megadeth. So Megadeth has now fired him. I'm wondering, would you put this in this whole category of like cancel culture, or is this like a?
Oh, he got me too.
And I mean, but the thing is that it's not from the girl that this happened with. I don't know.
Who canceled him? Who canceled him? The fucking record company?
Megadeth. Dave Mustaine fired his ass.
They did?
Yeah, and they're like, I always assumed they were good friends, but part of his statement.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe there's something underlying there that nobody knows.
Well, that was part of Dave's statement that, there were some other tensions going on with them, and this was just kind of the final straw, and blah blah blah. And I mean, obviously, it'd be a giant embarrassment to work with your metalhead friends, knowing that shit's out there, you fiddling yourself on camera, but I don't know. Obviously we don't know the whole backstory with the Megadeth situation. I was just curious if you thought this fell into until he got canceled, or if he just fucked up and did some stupid shit. And
it sounds to me like it's a cancellation deal. I mean,
yeah,
until the video came out, he was still the bass player for fucking Megadeth.
Fair enough. I don't know. I don't. Obviously, I don't know all the ins and outs. I don't claim to know. This is just what I've read about it. Unfortunate for him, man. He's going to miss out on whatever money they're going to make on this tour and all that other shit. But oh well, it happens. What's the lesson here? Don't diddle yourself on camera and put it on the fucking internet.
Yeah, man. That must have been before Zoom had that recording indicator in the top left corner every time you're recording. What the fuck, Dave?
But at least the girl came out and said, hey, this was not like a
right.
At least whether who knows what happened behind closed doors with him.
Thank God she's not underage.
Right. I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse. Just losing your job could have been the least of your fucking worries in that point. So good on him for that. I don't know his family situation. I know that he's like a big, like, Jesus guy. I know that he has like these Jesus camps like every summer and stuff. So that, I mean, I'm sure that's all going to go bye-bye and all that stuff. But Anyway, I just figured I'd ask your opinion, see what you thought about it.
You know, it's normal band shit. Shit happens in bands.
Okay.
They've had he's been the bass player for fucking Megadeth for how long?
Since the beginning.
All right then. So he had a
he's
good fucking run, bro.
Yeah, he's the only one that's the same dude the whole time.
I will never fucking forget dropping the needle on that fucking first track of fucking Peace Cells and having the top of my head get blown off by a bass line.
Right. This episode is super special to me. You know, it's with my first major band. We released our first album 25 years ago today.
Wow.
Which was a crazy night in and of itself. It was really cool hanging out and talking with those guys. Yeah, so definitely stick around for that video. I hope you enjoy the interview. As always, we are sponsored by Riff Rag,
covering local music in Southern Colorado and beyond.
And also, just to bring it up one more time, don't forget, if you guys are interested in getting into that Headbangers Classic golf tourney, I'll have the link in the description. Hit them up, man. It's a blast. Oh, and to answer,
are we a sponsor now?
I'm gonna push it. I think they need to get more guys out there. That's how much fun that tournament is. They have such a good time, and they did. We talked about it on our last episode. We weren't sure if they did it last year. They did do it. Yeah,
they did actually have a tournament during the lockdown.
He said it was their biggest turnout with 8 teams. And you figure that's 8 teams of 4 guys. You know, let's see if we can't get a couple more teams out there this year and go out there and have a blast, man. It's a really good time. Dave and Anthony, they'll have more like pricing and all that stuff here coming in the near future. They don't have all of that set just yet, but you can certainly use the link to go there and sign up for it. And then as all the information comes out, they will certainly let you know. But otherwise, you know, it's kind of a long interview, so we will not waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it without further
ado. Enjoy that shit though.
Enjoy
Color Insane.
The Color Insane. Welcome everybody. This is episode 24, I think. I don't know. I'll figure it out and put it in later. Super cool episode for me. Today, May 31st, marks the 25th anniversary that the Color Insane released their debut album. It's been 25 fucking years.
All fucking hell, man.
Unbelievable.
Holy crap.
But there's a story that I don't know if a lot of people know, but this recording or this album was actually recorded twice. And the first time it was recorded was with Paul Stickney on bass.
That's right.
So how, now I went up there with you guys, but I didn't know anything. I was trying to learn the songs while we were up there. I was freaking out, you know. I'm watching Paul play these songs.
What's the backstory? So
I had just joined the band, and why
during the recording sessions, during the recording of the record.
No, I think it was a little bit before, and
yeah, we had this scheduled, right?
Recording,
and
right?
Then
back in the day, yeah.
There's a whole story about how we finally got Brian in. That had to do with Craig, but so we already had it scheduled, and we asked Stickney to fill in so we could get recording, and then
just to track the stuff.
And then we got Brian.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. So
so it wasn't nothing, you know, nothing dramatic or sinister or anything like that.
No, Paul was just filling in. He was basically an unpaid hired gun. You know how locals do it.
Yeah. Right.
And so I went up and I'm trying to learn some of the songs because I didn't know all the songs at that point. I was still learning stuff when we went up, and I went up and stayed up there in Idaho Springs with them. That was a crazy time. But I remember I was watching Paul play these songs, and I don't know if you're familiar, Christian, with Paul Stickney at all. That guy's fucking phenomenal bass player. And
who else has he played with? I mean, I remember. Oh yeah, I know.
He's in New York playing bass now.
Is he?
Nice.
Yeah. And then, you know, what metal band was here back in the day?
Lee's Majesty.
That's right. Yeah.
Who?
Lee's Majesty.
Oh, geez.
And so yeah,
I was watching when I was like 15.
Right. Yeah, and when I joined Color Insane, the only person, like, you guys had already been playing out for years as No Exit. But the only one I'd ever seen play was Keith, and that's back when, I don't remember how young you were at the time, but when you played with Havoc, you know, so I had seen Keith at that point. But
where did you see me with Havoc? I never did a show with them.
Over at, I think it was just over at Doug's house. Didn't you guys practice over there?
No, we practiced at my house.
Oh, then must have been. Maybe that was with the other drummer they had, not Jason Gans, but I forget his name now. Anyway,
me too.
I totally forgot his name.
Anyway.
So yeah, I guess I hadn't seen, but I had heard of you. I knew that you had played with those guys anyway, because all those Havoc guys all went to our school, went to the school that I went to, the high school I went to.
Yeah, it was funny. My brief
band. Woo!
After like we recorded or something, somebody, I think it was Dan Whitlock at a party, was like, "Welcome to the scene, bro."
It was
pretty funny considering I've been partying with all you idiots for the last 5 years anyway. So I'm glad to see I've arrived.
Yeah, man, I've been here a while. Yeah, I've been here a while.
And Dan Whitlock was the one that was playing with him that I seen over at
yeah, he did play with them for a little while, didn't he?
Yeah. When they were playing at Doug's house. So anyway, we were up there. So how come you guys never ended up using those recordings? Why did we end up doing it again? I don't know.
Probably because we were on drugs and our management said there was something wrong with transferring or doing it.
Oh.
Was that still on tape or was that?
Yeah.
Did you got?
Yep.
Yeah, still.
It was 2-inch tape.
2-inch Studer. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There was a lot of drugs involved in that recording.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there's video somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
But I believe, remember the guy recording it? It was apparently a pretty famous cocaine guy too.
Oh, really?
The guy who owned the studio?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was a cool place. It was in his house, way out in the middle of nowhere in Idaho Springs, and
Idaho Springs, man, it was awesome.
Yeah, sitting out on the back deck and just having this cool ass view out there. I think the only thing I ended up doing on that record was doing the backups for State of Mind. But that was like the first time I remember sitting and watching James do all the solos for that, and I don't know. That was a trippy experience going up there and watching you guys play. I just remember how nervous I was, like thinking, you know, I really want to play, but I hope Paul doesn't not play and I have to do it. You know, it was a fucking bizarre time. But yeah, so we ended up doing it again. We rescheduled the recording. What was the name of that place? Do you guys remember?
Bart at Start Song?
Start Song.
Yeah, it was with Bart. Can't remember his last name.
We recorded that Idle Hands record with him, man, but I don't know if it was up there or not.
That was like off Palmer Park and the Salalique area.
Yeah. That's where that was.
And that was a pretty fun recording.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost him again.
Oh,
there he is.
Right on.
And you know, I remember.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm having issues with my computer right now. It decided to shut down.
Update.
Yeah.
That's messing with you because of all your free thought, you know.
That's right. They don't want me having free thoughts.
Skynet's up your ass.
That's right.
Tail death. Thought crime is death.
So I think the funniest thing I remember about that recording, you know, I remember having fun doing it, but you guys remember we all were in there looking at all the pictures on the walls.
Oh God. Shut up, dude.
And that was so funny, man. That was so
Bart,
funny.
he had been, what band was he in? Was it Foolish Pride or one of those?
I think so.
Yeah, Foolish Pride. That's right.
Well, Dan, go ahead, Danny.
No, you go.
You go.
I want to hear it from your point of view.
So Danny's like, we're looking at all these pictures on the wall. And I don't remember the exact words that Danny used, but it was something along the lines. We'll go with, who the fuck are these jokers on the fucking wall? And I mean, just talking mad shit, man. And And it's fucking Bart's in the picture. He's standing right there next to us.
It's like, that's my band, dude. And I'm like, oh my God. Foot and mouth. Record mouth.
Sabotage.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I've
it was a little more expressive than that, by the way.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was a little more slurish and expressive than that.
Yes,
Sure.
Way more slurish and expressive than that. You're not allowed to say those things now.
It was the
I was
90s.
going to say it was pre-PC language. So.
Right.
You would have got
Right,
me
right.
too'd for that shit nowadays.
That's right.
Oh shit, that was so funny. And
That was.
Oh my God.
But again, I don't remember anything. I remember like we kind of flew through the recording. I don't remember how long we were there, but I know we flew through the recording. The only
I
thing
remember singing into a trash can.
I do remember that. I remember that. The only song I actually remember recording is that hidden track, that little weird puke thing that we did, or whatever the hell it was called. And that's the only thing I really remember actually recording.
Did we even have Not a Thing written the first time when Stickney was around?
I'm not sure.
I thought you were deeply entrenched with us, Brian, when we wrote that. I was ready to go.
Let me get this clear, because I'm a little bit confused. You recorded all the tracks again with Brian, not just the bass line.
Yeah, and then a couple, right? Everything.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So here, because I thought the whole fucking time what you meant was that Brian came in and he recorded his tracks over again. No, okay. So you guys recorded the whole. That's what you mean. You truly did do the whole thing twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm tracking now.
That whole the Stickney version is scrapped. We were told it was ruined. You know, we don't know, but never got a piece of that one.
I think I have it somewhere, but I'm going to have to dig to find it.
Yeah. I think
you have like a DAT?
Cassette, just an actual cassette. Like got a cassette recording of the rough stuff from Mountain Works before we left. And like I said, I know I've got it somewhere. I've seen it like recently within the last couple of years. I just never like pulled it out and listened to it or anything. I also don't even know if I have a cassette player that won't eat it.
And I don't think Danny was with us up there either.
At the spree.
No.
I don't think so either. Yeah. But you were in when we were at Start Song. I mean,
yeah.
Record. Obviously, I went there to talk shit to the guy that was running everything. Come on.
That's why the recording sounds like it does, because Danny was talking shit.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys had already found your guys' style, right? Before Brian came into the band. So where did you guys come up with the sound? Where did you guys come up with the concept for two singers? And you know, I mean, because back in the day, I mean, like when Chris and I started GPM, the only reason we had two singers was because y'all had two singers. You know what I mean? because the concept was great. Two people can do two different things to one song. You know what I mean? And it still be
probably my fault.
Right. You think? Yeah.
Well, I was on a quest. Two things came to mind. The album Angel Dust, the Mike Patton layering, and sadly, 311's first album.
That's a great record.
It's a great record. It's their great record, in my opinion. But there's things I wanted to do, and layering. I wanted layering. That's where I wanted to go with it, you know.
Right.
And Danny was, selling pipes downstairs.
The thing that struck me most about it, I guess, was the way that it played your two distinctive styles and your two distinctive vocal timbers played off each other. You know what I mean? And that was a big thing for me when Chris and I started GPM. I wanted to do something where you take the reason to have two vocalists is to play each of our strengths against each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Right.
and I appreciate you guys, seeing you guys live back in those days. Danny's flow. Danny here is a sick motherfucking guy. He's a sick motherfucker with a sick motherfucking flow, and it played so well against what you do as a vocalist. You know what I mean? And I thought it was great, man. Back then, I thought it was
Thank you.
huge
For
our town.
Nice.
How did the Danny thing happen? I mean, how did you guys meet? How did you figure out you wanted to sing together? I mean, it seems like
like Triton said, I was working downstairs at Independent Annex, and
Keith and I were working at Independent Records.
Yep, across the street, and they were living upstairs, and we ended up hanging out and talking, and figuring out what kind of music each of us gravitated towards. And that time in my life, everything I was listening to was, for the most part, hip-hop based. I mean, there was other music I was listening to, but my focus was, being an MC and wanting to rap. So,
What year was that? Like early 90s, mid 90s?
94.
94.
Maybe
Yeah.
95. Yeah. James and Keith are big reasons that that they opened my mind up to hip hop. Before I met those two guys, James and Keith, it was strictly metal.
metal.
Yeah, and it was definitely those two guys who kind of led me on a path down to more diversity, for sure. So,
right.
Well, I tell you what, man, you guys set that whole diversity bar high as fuck. As far as original music went in this town. I mean, there's Supper and Suppercore, and that's always going to be its own fucking bag of tricks. You know what I mean? But just as important way back then to the scene, and just as diverse was what you guys were doing. You know what I mean? Right. And then after you guys, that's when bands like fucking Clown came around, and fucking, don't get me wrong, Jason and fucking Clown, they were a hot motherfucking band too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys were paving the road for bands like that. And
well, when I first
started,
you know how I am. I'm a big I'm a big fan of fucking melding everything and crossover, and as long as we're not talking about country music, because fuck crossover country. It's all fucking atrocious. You should all die.
So the first time I met Danny was up in that apartment. I remember walking in, didn't know that he was the one that I had been told does the other singing, but I just remember seeing him, and I think your hair was like, long. It was long compared to where you've worn it ever since. All I remember thinking is like, that dude looks like fucking Mike Patton, man. Fucking, and Triton's like, that's the dude who's gonna sing with us. And I'm like, fuck, I don't even care if he's good, man. He looks just like Mike Patton. It's gonna be the shit.
I don't care if he's good. He looks good.
Oh shit.
He's gonna get me laid.
There it is.
And then we ended up getting that practice place over on 8th Street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had that place for a while, and that's where, like, Keith and I would go there. Obviously, neither one of us had a car, so we'd end up going there and getting stuck there for hours at a time. Sometimes we'd go just to go jam. And I remember we'd get there, and I'd be like, man, those guys aren't coming. It was just us. And Keith's like, fuck it, dude, let's jam. I'm like, I don't know what to do without those guys. And Keith's the one that finally brought me out of my bass shell. I was like, dude, just pick it up. Let's just fucking play, man. And we played tons of shit. We have some of it recorded on. We hit a little record on a little cassette deck. We have some of that shit lying around. I have some of it somewhere. And but yeah, Keith's the one that brought me out of my shell when it came to doing that. I just wasn't used to playing with just a drummer or anything like that, which was, it's hearing myself say it now just seems completely stupid, but at the time, we
had a pretty hilarious incident down there at that spot. Brian and I got dropped off. Nobody else showed up. You know, it was pre-cell phone and everything. We didn't have, you know, I think I might have had a dime in my pocket. Brian might have had a quarter. You know, we scrounged the practice place, and I think we came up with $1.50. We jammed for a little while. We walked to 7-Eleven, and $1.50 could actually get you a soda and 2 phone calls. So we got a soda. I think I called a girl I worked with, and she agreed to come and pick us up. But while we were sitting on the curb, this guy came around the corner of 7-Eleven. And this was right after the Dahmer stuff happened. This guy was fucking Jeffrey Dahmer's doppelganger, like heated denim and flannel, everything, haircut. I looked at Brian, I said, dude, don't look now, there's Jeffrey fucking Dahmer. Right goes flying out of Brian's nose. Thankfully, we got out of there before getting murdered. So.
That shit was fucking funny.
So you end up in his apartment.
Exactly like it.
What's that, Triton?
Oh, I was just talking. So you end up in his apartment.
Oh, yeah, right. So we're looking at his freezer at his house.
A couple drinks later, I'm feeling a little woozy.
Oh, shit.
So when's the last time you guys have all been, and I know this is only a virtual room, but all been in the same room together?
At the same time?
Yeah, at the same time.
The last reunion.
Yeah, 2017, we did a show.
Wow.
We opened up for supper on the reunion.
Yep.
Union.
Yeah. That was cool. That was I have all that show recorded too, which is it's weird.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that show was a blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Y'all ever think about getting together and maybe doing a single or something?
I know I do all the time. I always think about it. I miss jamming with these guys.
Yeah, I miss jamming with you guys as well. And again, that last time we played together was a whole nother level, man. It was awesome. And,
dude, I've been awestruck at some of your guys' fucking shows, dude. I've just been fucking jaw on the fucking floor going, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude?
That reunion show, we killed it.
Yeah.
We were like a month in. It was like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
Triton and Danny are just drenched in sweat. We've only gone through like 4 songs. Keith's already soaked. And
we're like, why the fuck do we play
we
so
rehearsed
fast?
for like, I think almost 5 months. And I watched the show that Brian recorded often. I was like, man, we went up there and just killed that.
Yeah. It was
such a good feeling.
That was fucking sweet.
That the music still held up to this day. It was like, wow. That's cool.
That's no joke, man. I think.
Oh yeah.
I personally think, and I never know if it's a biased opinion, but I listen to all that stuff quite often, and I still think it's all really good music. You know, I don't know how other people would perceive it. Like I said, I'm sure I'm biased a little bit, but I think it's great, man. I to this day I still think it's awesome.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, some people will say, you know, certain music is ahead of its time, or it has, you know, a unique enough sound to it that it sounds different than what a lot of other people are doing. And whenever I listen to it, that's what I think.
Right.
It has its own unique sound. There was something about us where each one of us was able to incorporate exactly who we were into that music.
Right.
And we played off each other so well that's why I think it ended up being the way it was.
Right.
I noticed back then too that you guys had such a huge following, and not only that, but the people that came to your guys' show followed the uniqueness of the whole experience, because it was so, you know, you guys' shit was so different, man. It was so refreshing. I mean, we were back in those days. There was that whole period where Zen Radio, the Auto No, and you know, all that shit was, you know, I mean, the alt rock was getting more. Yeah, it was getting more of a following, and the metal, you know, was underground. You know, metal went underground for a while there in the early 90s. You know, but when you guys, you know, Supper and you guys, and you know, it's just, I mean, you guys were. All the bands wanted to be like, hey, let's see if we can get on a show with fucking, you know. Color Insane, or you know what I mean? Let's get on a show with them guys, man, because people will come. Guarantee people were going to be there. You know what I mean? Because people followed the uniqueness of what your products even back then.
Right. So going back to that place on 8th Street, I remember I never met James over at the apartment. James wasn't over there very often. So I met him over at the 8th Street practice place.
Yeah.
And getting to know James was hard. It was really hard, man. For a lot of years, I just figured he hated my fucking guts, man. But we played well together. I'm like, fuck, all right, at least we play. I like what he writes. I like playing to his shit. But it took a long time, man. It took a really long time before we actually hugged it out or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot going on in here, not much coming out of the mouth, man.
So that place. I don't remember if we recorded while we were still in that practice place or not, but that practice place ended up flooding. I remember getting a phone call or one of you guys telling me, hey man, our shit's flooded, and so and I never did get a chance to go down there and look at it. I remember Keith was like, yeah dude, your bass was just kind of floating across the water.
Holy shit.
Your bass was submerged, dude. Your bass was it was Paul Stickney had a bass over there at that time, and his bass was floating along just fine. It was either Paul's or Craig's, I can't remember who. But yeah, somebody's bass was the case was just floating. It was just floating in the water. Water was.
Mike Stevens was jamming in his band, right?
Well, Stevens and I had been. That was when he was first starting Girth, and I was trying to jam with him, but I wasn't really catching what he was throwing down. And I think Paul would come over one time and had his bass there. But yeah, that was funny because Mike and I were the ones who showed up to the practice place, and he landed at the bottom of the stairs before I did, and I just heard, "What the fuck? There's water all over the place."
Oh man!
You're like,
it was like it's up to your knees almost. It was scary.
Yeah, it was freaky.
Yeah. So
I don't remember
so
whose guitar.
The practice spaces were under or basement level or what?
Yeah, it was basement, and it was like we had. When was that? Was that 95 or 96? We had just like 2 weeks of heavy rain, and it just ended up going all into our practice place.
Yeah. Yeah. So at that point, I was playing an older bass, and I didn't even have an amp when I first joined. I was playing through. You guys had like this old Triton had an old PA or something.
Oh yeah.
And I would just plug right into that thing and play to the speakers. And I remember when I found out my shit was gone, I was like, "Oh fuck, man! I have no idea what I'm gonna do." And luckily that's when Dave Mangum stepped up, and he ended up buying me that bass and that amp like right before we went into the studio.
He managed you guys for a while, right? Like really got you work and stuff.
It took a team, man. It was like Jim.
Oh, that's right, Steckman.
Yeah, Jim Steckman.
That's right.
And then Suzanne.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that it took we were a pain in the ass. It took a team.
We were 6-year-olds on crack with ADHD.
That was putting it lightly.
So Danny, before you and Triton hooked up, had you in your pursuit of being an MC, did you do any rap shows? Did you have anything recorded and stuff?
Yeah, I did a few rap shows and was rhyming with a couple friends like from high school. We had a crew called Pale Units, just 3 white dudes.
Oh wait,
and we recorded a few tracks, but too much weed got in the way of the 3 of us to actually be able to.
Did you guys do shows?
Truly lay down? You guys did a couple here and there. We did a couple here and there, but it didn't really go anywhere. Then I met some other dudes that were doing like some electronic kind of stuff, and they wanted to have somebody doing some MC work, and it was called Dio Disco Gang.
I remember that.
And that was, yeah, you remember that? And
Yep.
and we didn't really, you know, maybe a couple shows, but really the first time that I ever got to do real shows was with these guys. So, you know, for me, that was an awesome thing to move into, to be able to do that.
Right. Yeah, that was the same for me. I had played some house parties and stuff with other bands, just small things, but you know, getting in this band, all of a sudden we're, even if it's just local stages. I think the first show I played with you guys, I think was at the Gardens. And I mean, that was like, I might as well have been playing fucking McNichols Arena at the time, and I was so fucking jazzed, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. I mean,
Hell yeah.
I've seen you guys at the Gardens a couple times where it was just fuck nuts.
Shit.
I think our first show is the Color Insane, right? And it was like Last Supper's second show as Last Supper was at the Gardens, and Brian played through Bill Trussler's rig.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, that's right. And you know, that's another incident that happened at the Gardens was remember when we first got the record back for distribution, or we got all the copies of it back, whatever you call that. And if I remember correctly, on the back of it, it says with special guest Danny Bristow, and I remember that was a huge tension point, man. It was like, because Danny was like, man, I'm part of this fucking band, and it was crazy, you know. That was a crazy night, man. I thought
is that how he was listed on the sleeve, or was he listed again? Did it mention him again on the back?
No, that was on the back of the album. It had all our names listed, and then it's at the bottom. It said with special guest Danny Bristow, and
well.
But yeah, that was,
well, at that point in time, I think I was only on I know for sure 3 tracks.
Right.
Maybe there was a 4th track where I was, you know, not really on it, but just doing some slight backup.
Right.
And, you know.
Only because those tracks were written before you had gotten there?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So, you know,
so it's like, and then like, just like Triton said too, you know, he was never really into hip hop. And the whole MC thing. And I think, you know, like we were testing something out, right? That hadn't really overly been done by anybody yet. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to make sure that the fit was right and the sound was good, you know, and I was nervous myself because it's like, you know, I rap, so how am I actually going to fit into this band and truly be a part of it? I think what ended up happening that was really cool for me is that, you know, I learned a lot from Triton, and there were times where we really pushed to make sure that we were not just doing the kind of vocals that we're used to doing, but like, let's see how far we can push ourselves as instruments. Let's really try to fill that space appropriately. So it's only appropriate to rap if it's appropriate in that space. So if I need to whisper or attempt to do some sort of growling or screaming or singing, then that's what I need to do.
You were pretty, as I recall, you were no slouch at that little.
Absolutely not. He was awesome.
No, you were no slouch at the growls and the screams way back there. I remember that. And that was, which was so intriguing because not only could you do that, but you could fucking drop bars like a motherfucker, dude. I kind of hate you for it. Because I can't do it. You know what I mean? Because I can't do it. So, you know.
I think it started with hey, I wanna have a guest rapper on a song. That's how it really started.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know? And then, you know, we just clicked. Danny and I started firing, and Danny fired with everybody. But him and I started firing on all cylinders is like what we could do. Which is what I said, like that faith in the angel dust.
Yeah.
And even 311 and anything that like, oh well, they had to layer themselves, so we don't have to layer ourselves. We can do it live. We can do it live because it's 2 of us. Yes. So let's start bouncing on top of each other and filling the space in different ways. And it really, by the time we got to you know, the last Whack-A-Bitch and Downed by Law, Hugh About the Lie. I think we were firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
we definitely were.
And it was a beautiful thing. I mean,
I thought that was a time. I thought that was a period of time where music, not only in Colorado Springs, but in this state in particular, there was a lot of uniqueness and a lot of different shit going on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I keep fucking, what you guys did always brings me back to GPM, because it was the fearlessness of you guys throwing your heavy ass music and those fucking those raps and those and all of it together that, you know, really pushed me to fucking when Idle Hands was over, and I wanted to do something that mattered. I wanted to do something equally as different. I didn't want to come out and just do what everybody else was doing, you know, or had been doing from 91 to 93. You know what I'm saying? So that was the whole premise of trying to take heavy metal and fucking dance electronics and make it work. And it was the whole reason I knew I needed somebody to fucking handle that metal side that I couldn't fucking handle, and let me take care of the rest. You know what I mean? It was, you guys were such a huge inspiration to me back then. And I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys so much for it, because, you know, here we are 25 years later and I'm still GPM
is amazing, by the way.
Thank you, man.
That's one of my favorite local bands ever, by the way. You both are iterations of GPM. One with Chris and the one with, I'm a fan. You know, all last year I was singing Virus. All last year.
It was a good year for that song.
And I'm hitting Matt. I'm like, dude, this year is driving me crazy. You need to send me a copy of Virus, which you never did, but it's stuck in my head.
The newest song that we just finished. Well, we're still working on it. I'm re-recording it now, but it's pretty fucking. Brian's heard it. It's pretty fucking good.
Good stuff.
And you know, again, I wouldn't even be doing a GPM song in 2021 if I hadn't fucking seen you guys in Suffer at the Gardens. I was at that show.
So
we have history with Nick. You know that too.
Yeah.
He was.
It's a pleasure playing with you, Christian.
Yeah, that was good.
James,
that was good.
GPM, right? Less than zero. It's good times.
So James, you wrote the music in Color Insane. A lot of that stuff, like you were like with Triton. I've told Triton this a million times. When he would write, I could never grasp how he could come up with such cool stuff as a lyricist. But even that's the same goes for you. You're such a good songwriter, not just a riff writer, but such a good songwriter. I mean, how would you, or do you still kind of approach it the same way? Or was there an approach, or did you just sit down and just kind of let it come out? I mean, what did you do to come up with some of that stuff?
I think it was the people I was around, the musicians, and like pain I never even thought I had, but I was covering up with angry music, which helped as well. You know, later I'd grow up and realize, like, man, I was pissed off for a reason. I had a lot of deep-seated issues, but I think playing with Keith in high school in his garage, and just him and I would get together and we ask his mom buy us some beer, like Milwaukee's best. We'll smoke cheap cigarettes. But we played in his basement like for 4 hours almost every night, and we just developed this sort of chemistry where it was like, hey, we've seen Animosity, we've seen these bands, like we can be better than this, like why can't we? So I just think the vibe of it, I think if Keith and I clashed musically at the beginning, I don't think the Color Insane ever would have existed.
No.
But then you start bringing elements in. You're like, okay, well, I got Triton. You saw us at a party. Cool. Now we need a bass player. Well, our bass player is kind of all right. Well, we tried out Craig, but who's Craig's friend? Oh, it's Brian. He's better than Craig. So let's take him. And wow, Triton, you need to express yourself more than you can do by yourself. And here came Danny. And I just think it was just it's like a recipe, man. You just put the right ingredients in there and the inspiration just automatically comes out with the vibe. I mean, I don't think I've written music like that with anybody else I've worked with as well as I have with you guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of the right ingredients, your whole statement just now really makes a 2021 Color Insane single really intriguing to me. I don't know. I'm just saying, bro.
You get Keith and James to agree to it. I think we'll all be down.
Yeah.
I second
By the
that.
way,
I think it could happen.
My bassist in my band has offered to re-record us. You know, the first album and then the 3-song, maybe a new one. He's offered to do it for us, with us, Justin.
Yeah.
Jake Brett came up with the title. The Color Remains Insane.
Nice.
You know, ironically, looking back 25 years, like how rebellious we were and how that same nature still obtains to us today. I mean, we have kids and stuff like that. Just like what Danny's doing with Free Human Being, it's like, to me, you know, it would be cool to get together. We still have that voice. We still want to have heard, and it hasn't been heard in a while. Right. I think just the elements of the Color Insane have remained true, whether we've been together or not.
I'm not trying to instigate, but maybe I am.
No, I agree with what you're saying, James, because, you know, each one of us has a skill set, right, that we bring to the Color Insane. And obviously that fire that was in us when we were younger is still in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
I know it's inside of me, just like you said, with the Free Human Being project. You know, I'm still like trying to make my voice be heard and rise up against things that I don't agree with.
Right.
And
I still like to talk shit.
I agree, man.
I mean, that was our motto, man. It's like insane we trust. That is just, it's the
damn right.
picture.
Look at that shit. The all seeing eye on there.
It remains the same today, man. We all still have the Color Insane in us, which is cool.
Absolutely. Let's see. So, James, did you have any favorite song on the first album? Was there one that you particularly like recording, or do you like listen to more, or any favorites?
I actually respect all of them because I'm also a guitar teacher, and I have 15-year-olds that are just amazing.
Yeah.
And I go back and I'm like, well, I better, you know, step it up, man. These guys, I'm going to lose students. They're going to go on to somebody better. And I actually went through the whole Color Insane album the last month or so, just of the style of picking I played and how, I mean, we practiced 5 days a week. We were just well-oiled machines. So no matter where we played, we always felt comfortable. It wasn't like, oh crap, do I remember this part?
Right.
I don't know. I just think as a whole, the Color Insane, by everybody putting in everything together, I really like all of the songs. I'd have to say Question Me's up there pretty good.
Yeah.
Whack a Bitch, I like that one too. I mean, I like them all. The middle part to oh my gosh, what's it called? Return the Hunter.
Yeah.
That part. And then it breaks down into that solo. It's like, how did I think of that? And I would just sit there and like make you guys play that same thing over and over. Okay, here's my 16 bars. I want it to be, you know, epic solo. It took a lot.
Yeah. What about you, Triton? Do you have a particular favorite from the first record? Or the only record, I guess?
I mean, I have a few favorites. Return the Hunter's obviously the most personal one for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Not a Thing. I still love that song.
Yeah, look, yeah.
You know, it's deep. It's so deep.
Shit.
And Question Me, obviously Question Me. You know, there's like Never Ending and State of Mind, Unanswered. Those are holdovers from No Exit, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I think of the album in kind
when
of
you
two
say
different spaces.
when you say holdovers from No Exit, do you mean that they were unrecorded as No Exit, or you wrote them in No Exit and then later
You wrote them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually an interesting story behind.
So those were songs.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was gonna say that's an interesting story
on
Never Ending, because that opens the record, and I remember that because there was that whole intro part that we played all the time, but we couldn't get it in the studio. So, and if I remember right, I couldn't get it in the studio, and it just was flubbing the whole thing up. So finally, I don't know whose idea it was. I don't know if it was Bart or who it was, but they're like, hey, let's play it in reverse. And fucking they flipped it around. So that's how that whole beginning of that record started like that. Because I don't know if you remember that intro, Triton, or anybody. I'm sure you do, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the CD release party, and I was like, holy shit, man. Fucking, I was thinking about it. I was like, I know I could play it now. Back then, it just eluded me. So much of it just blew me away at the time. But that's another little piece of trivia about that record, is that was actually a part that was supposed to be fucking not in reverse.
Let's talk about your guys' favorite live show. As the Color Insane.
I don't know. I would have to tell you though, it's like with being in the Color Insane at the very beginning, like all the shows were awesome, but I was fucking scared every single fucking show, man. Like, right? Especially at the very beginning, because not knowing exactly what my place was. Am I really fitting in this? Am I doing good enough? Do I sound right? Like it was so new and nervous that every single show was amazing.
Really?
And like overwhelming at the same time. Yeah.
Right.
Completely.
Wow. You never, wow. Cause I always, standing in the audience when you guys played, I could see the appreciation for what both of you guys had to bring to the table individually. You know what I mean? You could see it. You could read it on your fucking crowd's faces. You know, they were not into it in a passing manner. You know what I mean? You guys really fully, when you guys fucking you guys hit that first fucking note till the time you guys walked off, if people came to see you, or if you got into their ear hole, they were yours for the duration. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And we were also on tilt.
That was fucking inspiring. You know what I mean?
Well, I do know for me though, it's like when you would see somebody, you know, a group of people walk out after you start playing, that's when I knew we were onto something.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if they were like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, I cannot stay for this.
No,
and they'd leave, and I'm like, yes. Now I know we're onto something.
Those fools ended up at your shows later.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
I have two that I remember, though. The CD release party was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing. And so there's a story. This is before GPM. It's Freak Show, Matt Ingles' band Freak Show, and Chris's band Evil Genius. Mm-hmm. So it's Pure Energy, and Samson goes out of town.
Pure Energy, Cimarron.
Yeah. Pure Energy 2. Samson goes out of town and leaves Chris in charge. And, up until then, Samson handled all the money. He did everything. He ran everything. And then we get paid through him. So Chris and I had this brainstorm, let's do a show. It's Color Insane, Evil Genius, Free Show. And we paid for ads. We paid for our own ads on Kilo. Chris and I went to Kilo and recorded the ads. You guys remember that? Let's run some show.
Yeah.
And we made our own flyers. We ran the show ourselves, and it was huge for us. It was huge, right? You know, you had 300 to 500 people in there just on a regular show. and we all made so much money. And Samson came back and was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
He was pissed. It was such a good show. We had commercial. It was, and you know, Matt's band and Chris's band. That was my favorite show.
That's funny. When we did
he
that
was mad because he wasn't involved, or what?
He was
you guys
mad
did so well.
We knew how much money
because we made more money than we typically would make at a show.
Right. If he was around.
Right.
When we,
he was
right.
Didn't have a Samson cut.
When we did that show, I was working at this gas station over on the west side called Cliff Bryce. And I remember you had told me the day that you went in and recorded the Kilo commercial. And I'm sitting there and I think we knew what time it was going to come on, or like an area of time it was going to come on the first time. And I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I got a line going out the door. Fucking people just waiting to pay for their fucking gas, right? And I'm like, hold the fuck on. And I'm waiting for that commercial, you know, go run some shop. And I'm like, yeah. And everybody's like, dude, can we just pay for our fucking gas and go? I'm like, that's my fucking singer. That's my band, dude. We're fucking playing. I was so excited. I was so thrilled to hear that shit on the radio. Oh man, shit was funny.
That was a great time.
Yeah. That one, I think for me,
that whole era was golden, Christian. Like you said, that was golden era for sure.
Yeah, I think my favorite shows would have been definitely the release was just fucking. That one was mind bending, really.
It was, yeah.
But another big one that I remember doing is and this was the first national act that I did, is we were supposed to open up for Typo Negative, but they ended up dropping off the bill because the guitarist broke his arm or some shit. So it ended up being, I think Wicker Man ended up headlining the show, and we
Life
opened
of
up.
Agony.
Yeah, Life of Agony, right? And
that was,
or maybe they headlined. I don't remember. Anyway, I remember
that was a Nip show, wasn't it? Nip. That was back in the Nip days.
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right.
That was definitely
Industrial Nation and whatnot.
The beginning
right?
of Nip.
No, this was definitely pure energy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I remember being
closed. We were already broke up. We already broke up by then.
Right. But we were playing that show. I remember being on stage and having these people, because I was playing with a pick at the time, and they were like, "Hey man, give me your pick, these fans." And I remember thinking, I'm like,
I only got the one, bitch.
Right. I'm like, I can't afford 20 cents for another pick, man. Fucking, I can't give this thing to you. And so, I mean, it was all rounded off and shit. I gave it to him at the end of the show, but I remember like, I can't, man. This is the only one I own to my fucking name, and I got no money.
Fucking first world problems, bro.
Because of that show, I became an electrician, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Remember how packed that stage was? We were like right at the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm jumping around. I'm fucking jumping around, slamming around. And the last song, I don't remember what song it was. I twisted my knee and popped my knee out of place.
Oh, I remember that. You
remember? And I sang the rest of the song on one foot. And I couldn't roof. I was roofing at the time. And after that, I couldn't roof. So I couldn't let it go.
Oh, shit. What about you? Did I already ask you, James, which was one of your favorite shows?
I think our reunion show stuck out.
Yeah,
because I can watch it. You know,
there was so many people there.
Right.
But the CD release kind of like blew my mind because we had the camera crews there and packed the whole place.
Yeah, they were
huge. That was like the unveiling of the huge Color Insane banner. It was like, man, Keith had the huge drum set, like.
Yeah, it's essentially the Color Insane. This iteration of it, we weren't really together for really all that long. I mean, it was. I mean, it seemed like a long time, but it you know, we burned it at both ends. We were there for 3-4 years, I think.
I mean, 94 to 98, I think.
That sounds about right. But yeah, it was. I mean, we played so much. I mean, between practices and shows, we played what seemingly seemed like every night of the week, every week. I mean, we were always playing. When we got that,
We practiced Sunday, right? Sunday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah,
for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, well, we weren't doing a lot of sleeping back then, if I recall.
We ended up getting that other practice place. It was just fucking, that place was awesome. And you know, a lot of times we'd have people show up there and be like having a little show there. I guess it wasn't a lot that we did that there, but you know, there was a couple times where a bunch of people would show up and hang out and watch us play there. And I mean, that was a lot of fun. It was all a lot of fun, but it, you know, I think back on it and just how fast it really went by, you know, pretty insane, I think.
Yeah.
And you know what? I love to sit here and listen to you guys reminisce about your time as a band together. But as a fan of that band, I got to, and this is the last bit of instigating I'm going to do, but I just got to say that it's really fucking intriguing for me to think about how each of you guys have individually matured as musicians over the last 25 years, and what that would bring to one more collective song. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I'd love to record
I think it's an amazing thought, and it's going to keep me up tonight.
I'm in. I would do it.
I'm always down.
Yeah, I would do it too, man.
Yep, I'm in. And
I
know
here we go, motherfuckers.
That's right, motherfuckers. I'm not too old to keep fucking.
That's right.
Spitting out some fucking lyrics, man.
Actually,
right.
Let's go.
Matt Mingle helped me resurrect the original coloring.
Oh, nice.
And it's been broken like 4 times. I'm gonna try and give it a test run at the SOAPDISH show. But
I remember how excited you were when you got that.
All I think about is color and sing. That's all I did with it.
Nice. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, did you ever, now I would say, you know, how did you think of it back then? But I know I never thought of it. Did you ever think that we would be sitting on 25 years talking to each other after this thing was recorded?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the connection that we had with each other, man, like you guys are like family to me.
Right.
You know, the things that I was able to share with you guys, like I didn't share that with anybody else.
Right.
You know, like I just went and talked to my kid and was like, hey, I got to jump on for one more session. Hopefully it won't, you know, take too much longer. And her boyfriend chimes in. He's like, oh, you know, is that your old band? I was like, no, it's my band.
Yeah. Yes, that's the right answer.
Right. This isn't my old band. This is my band.
Yeah. Right.
This was the band. Breaking, and the end of Color and Sing broke my heart. It was totally growing up at that point, right? Or
right.
It was heartbreaking. It was I always call it, when I refer to it as my Cinderella band. You know, that was all things were possible with this band. We were gonna be. That was what we were gonna do.
I can tell you this: when we were practicing for the reunion, you know, James had showed up with a couple things, and we started kind of dealing around with some shit. And I can promise you, it'd be fucking amazing. That's for damn sure.
Damn right.
It'd be a lot of fun.
One night, Chris Forsyth was there. He's like, James, that's some new level shit. Let me jam to it.
Yeah.
He started singing to it. He's like, what are you playing?
No, and that was a very recurring comment way back then, was about your guitar playing in particular, James, was that you were and I remember it was when like bands like Korn were just coming up and stuff, and people were like, man, that's some next level fucking guitar playing. I mean, that's like it's fresh and new and different than all the shit that's out there. And I remember people, I understand why you have so many students today, because you as a guitar player left an impression on a lot of people that don't have no shit about guitar.
Thank you, man.
And that's when you know you're doing some shit.
Right.
James has a sound for sure.
Yes.
Agreed.
And I've always been really, it's always been really, never had any trouble writing to his sound.
There's this buttery way also that he physically manipulates the guitar. that
But
makes
just
it
sounds
look
like him.
very, very effortless and
Yeah.
very, but at the same time, very purposeful. You know what I mean?
See, and that's what I was
I
saying
always love the
earlier.
fact
It's
that-
like, no, go ahead, Triton.
No.
Well, I was just
all
saying,
good.
back to
Go.
earlier, it's like, when you talk about skill sets of each person that's in the band or a uniqueness to each one of us, and with his guitar playing, that's one of those extra pieces that you just slide in. That's why we sounded different, but still have the sound that, was, I guess, attractive to people.
And you know what? And for people that haven't heard The Color Insane, that watch our show and are going to hear one of the songs at the end of this shit, I'm really excited for you guys to hear it, because it's hard for me to express Danny's mastery of his craft as far as rapping goes. You know what I mean? The way,
thank you, man. I appreciate
the way he
that.
manipulates syllables in the same time signature that music is written is very, it's something you're born with or you're
Fucking
not.
stellar.
Yeah, you're either born with that shit or you're not, but you definitely can't buy that shit ever.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. And I appreciate that, because what Brian said about Triton earlier, though, is like Triton's style of writing is intimidating to me. And it is, but what I love about it is that it's like he's already an MC and he doesn't even realize it, because it's like he's got metaphors, right? And that's the huge part about being an MC. It's like all these metaphors, and then one line or one word just flows into that next thought or idea, that metaphor, to build on that story. So, that's one thing I had to make sure. It's like, well, fuck, I'm good at rapping, so I better be just as good at rapping as he is at writing these lyrics for this metal shit, man. I can't fuck this up.
So did your part of those songs, the parts that you rapped, did you write all the raps then? That's just all?
Yeah, the stuff that I rapped, I wrote.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat with, obviously when I get together with Keith, learning how to just lock in with a drummer, but then playing along with James was the same thing for me. He was at a level that I certainly wasn't at the time, but I knew that in order to put myself into this band, it had to get there one way or another. So I think I was in the same kind of boat as you, Danny, where it was like, this is it. This be all end all. I'm putting my balls on the table right now, and it's time to go. You know what I mean? And it pushed me. It made me, obviously I think this band made us all, as the musicians we are today, definitely was a huge shaping factor. But, that brought me up to another level in my bass playing, and I could never be thankful enough for it. And I loved every minute that we had in this band. I loved everything that we did.
Agreed.
The highs, the lows, all of it was great, the reunion we did, however many, that was 18 years after the fact when we did that, it was, all the practicing we did for that, it was so much fun. It was so rewarding for me to get in there and do that again and get on stage with you guys again, and again, going back to the ingredients of everybody, there's just something that the chemistry that we have together, where we get on stage or wherever we're playing, and it just comes to life, man. It just, everything lights on fire, and I love that, man. That was definitely my favorite part of this group.
Oh man, I sometimes I enjoy practice more than shows.
Yeah.
when we're grooving,
Right.
Practice was some fun shit.
I think The Color Insane, we all made it bigger than we thought it could be. So everybody was always pushed to give 110% to not disappoint one another.
Right. I think you're right.
Right. You're totally right. It's like that idea. It's like, I knew when I got to practice, it's like, I have to push myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have to become better than what I am not even sure I'm even capable of doing.
Right.
You realize that the older we get, the cooler we were.
Right.
Oh, I was just going to say, the older we get, the cooler we are. Shit.
I agree.
I'm fucking cool. I'm hella cool, bro.
I could blow up any second.
I agree with Triton. If we were to redo this, I would enjoy listening to it a lot more than I do.
You know, we do have, obviously we have issues with the recording.
Yeah, very much so. Especially Keith.
Yeah.
Speaking of Keith, here he is, here to finish it out.
Keith's back.
So let's.
That being said, though, you know, I mean, I'm really looking forward to the new song.
I'd love to put it all together with Wackovich, People Built a Lie, Down by Law.
Yeah.
One or two.
Yep,
new
and then an
songs.
extra 45-minute song.
Holy shit.
Hey, Keith.
Hey, dudes.
How you doing? So we're just.
What's up, Keith?
So I had to go eat dinner, man.
No worries. We're just about to
food's
wrap.
essential.
We're just about to wrap it up, and but we were just talking about, you know, I was just about to say I'd be remiss to not give, especially Keith's opinion on the recording itself. But now that you're back, you know, what tell us what you think.
Of the original recording?
Yes.
The overall sound quality of the recording really isn't that bad. There was just too many drum takes for me personally that I thought I got, and I said I wanted kept, but you know, I kept getting the voice from the booth of, well, we think you can do it better. I'm like, well, I think that was the one, but I'll give you another one. And then it turned into 5 and 6 takes. And there is some awful shit in my playing on that fucking recording. And that's why I hate it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was fucking, you know, a great experience and everything. It helped me learn more of just, you know, stand up for myself when I'm in the studio, that this is my fucking track, not yours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't care.
Damn right.
Well put.
I don't care if you're the manager. I don't care if you're the fucking producer. I don't think if you can get something better. If I'm telling you you're not going to get anything better, you're fucking not. So,
Right. That's right.
Produce your ass off, fool.
Get to producing, fool.
I mean, you know, it also taught me that, you know, the stance I take more now when I go into the studios, I just try and keep things a lot simpler. You know, instead of like trying to fly all over the place, I do the Phil Rudd method now, man. Just AC/DC it, even if it is grindcore.
Nice. Well,
I mean, it's worked out with some better recordings for me. I mean, the third 908 EP, the first one that I'm actually on, most of that is done all single foot blast. So, and it's like, you know, because I wasn't trying to push tempos too much, and you know, it's like we just found the groove, because to me, good grindcore should have a good old hardcore groove. So yeah, some shameless self-promotion real quick. If you think about it, look up 908 EP3.
What song are you going to play, Brian?
I'm going to I'm going to do Question Me from the actual release party. But I am going to kind of sporadically release all the other songs. Just here and there, I'll throw it out on Facebook. You guys will see them coming up. And then I think after that, I'm going to start releasing the shit from the reunion show too. And it's funny because we started that show with Wackovich, surprisingly enough. And
Which show?
The CD release party.
Oh,
and,
wow, with Wackovich. Oh,
yeah. And what's funny is we go into that song and my bass is so fucking out of tune, man. It's like, because I'm playing that high part and it just sounds like, and I'm like, oh, you can, and if you listen to the recording, you can hear, eventually I just stopped playing that note. I'm like, fuck it, I just won't fucking play it, man. And
To sound like dog shit.
I was like, absolutely. And I, as soon as I heard it, I remember being on stage that night and I remember my whole head just like started, I was on fire. I was so embarrassed and I was like, there's all these people there. And I'm like, oh my God,
did you get an evil eye from James?
No, I don't think anybody really paid much attention, but I heard it. And you can hear it on the recording because the cameras, and surprisingly, you can hear everybody in the recording. Because the camera's sitting like right next to my amp. But it's not like an all based out recording or anything. I mean, you can hear everything. But yeah, I was like, I just couldn't believe it. You know, between that, the two biggest things of that night was I had that spot, and then when James went to do what was you did that solo thing before State of Mind. Mindstorm, and you had a bunch of technical difficulties that night. And, yeah, that's all on the disc too. And
cool.
Yeah, James look great.
That's
awesome.
Great.
I have one with Christian at City Odd. My guitar synth stopped working. It worked all the way up to the song I was gonna use it. Done. I have the recording, and then Christian's like, "Okay, moving on. We're gonna do this song."
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
All right, guys.
That's
with that,
crazy.
I think we've come to the end of this show. Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Yeah, man, it was fucking great to see all of you
thank
guys.
you guys.
I haven't seen a couple of you motherfuckers in a long time. James,
I was
Danny.
Thank you guys so much for coming on, man. I do really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, good to see you.
Good to see all you guys, man. I love you guys.
We're still alive. How about that shit?
Yeah, we're still alive.
We're 5 for 5. We're doing all right, man.
That was not the plan, man. That was not the plan.
The plan. We were all supposed to be dead by now. Was that the plan?
Yeah, like 30 at least. You know.
Well, you beat that.
Color fucking insane, man.
The Color Insane, man. Let's re-record first album. Let's add the last 3 songs that we did, and then we'll add a new track that's 45 minutes long.
45 minutes long. I'm on it. Let's get to it. All right, guys.
Just improv that in the studio like we did Puke.
There you go. All right, fellas. Well,
You guys, good to see everybody.
Good to see
man,
you
good
guys.
to see you guys, man. Thank you so much, guys.
Love all you guys. Peace
Love
out.
you.
Guys.
Love you guys. See you soon.
See you, James.
Late.
So there you have it. That was The Color Insane.
The Color Insane.
With the 25-year anniversary reunion.
Holy shit.
Here's a video from the night in question, May 31st, 1996, 25 years ago when we released this album. Here's a track that we played that night. It's called Question Me. Hope you enjoy. So something we're going to do. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Suzanne Riggle for preserving this recording for so many years. I assume that she's the one that recorded it. I'm not completely sure on that, but she did preserve the tape. And for that, I just wanted to give a quick thank you. Enjoy the video.
Alrighty then. You guys ready for the #1 hookers in Colorado Springs? I know I am. Get on your oxygen gear, because they gonna rip up shit! Color Inside! Question me!
shit.
Love it.
What up, guys?
He got a Faraday cage for his brain.
Now I'm safe, dude.
Yeah, you are safe.
The reptilians can't get me. 5G can't get me.